Oh, should we sit like this?
I don't know, maybe.
If you can see, this is we're trying out a different situation here. I don't know what's going to be better, us facing you guys or us facing each other. I don't really like looking at him, but if I need to, then I can.
That's right. We'll do whatever we got to do.
Exactly. But my name is Sean,
My name is Chance.
and this is Anime Anarchy.
Today we're going to be talking about solo leveling. We're a little bit behind on it. We just started season one a couple days ago, but what episode did you get to? 12?
12. I'm on episode 12
All
now.
right,
I
so
yeah, I just started watching it like last week.
yeah, so you got like one episode left, and I'm on the end of 10, so I got 3 episodes left.
Yeah. And I mean, so far, I think it's like one of the most badass shows that I've seen. I mean, if you're a gamer, then I mean,
For sure.
this is the anime show for you because I mean, it's exactly like a game, but just like in real life.
Yeah, I definitely do like how they kind of they do the whole like video game anime like genre shtick without making the whole thing a video game, like it's just the one character, the main character. So you get all the feeling of that, but while to everyone else this is just normal real life,
Yeah, exactly, which is kind of crazy. But I throughout this the lives of these people, I don't know if is it just in this. No, it's all over the world because I remember they're talking about like getting hunters from like
Yeah,
Europe and Middle East, stuff like that.
yeah, it's
So
kind of like the gates are opening up all
worldwide
of, yeah,
situation.
worldwide, yeah.
So this is like, guess you'd say like Dungeons and Dragons or something like that, or just well, they're called
Kind of,
dungeons,
yeah,
right? And it's like these portals that just randomly open up,
yeah.
anywhere.
And once the portal opens up, the humans, I guess, they have about a week, about 7 days or so before the portal grows all the way out,
Yeah,
fully opens up. And then what happens is called a dungeon break. So once it's fully opened, all the monsters and goblins and
even the
demons,
boss.
yeah,
Yeah,
inside of the dungeon can come out into the real world and like terrorize cities, and that happens occasionally.
yeah. I mean, it's already
Yeah,
happened once, I
yeah,
think, in season one,
right.
and I mean, it's crazy. And each gate has like a different tier level, which I think is really cool.
Just like a video game,
Yeah,
like an MMO.
goes from E rank to S rank, which would be the top tier.
Right.
And there's only a handful of S rank hunters. They call them hunters
Yep.
that actually like go in and fight these, like go in the dungeons and fight these monsters to clear the dungeons.
Yeah, I think they said in their country they have only 7 S rank hunters. Now, I imagine there are more worldwide, but
But
I
probably not
mean,
too much
but
more.
exact, if there's only like 7 in a big country, like that, I'm assuming it's taking place in Korea.
Yeah, yeah,
Because that's
so
where the show was made.
yeah,
Um, but I mean, if there's only 7 there, I mean, even the United States probably only has a couple dozen at most with our
right,
population,
yeah.
Same with like China.
I mean, it's crazy, but the main character is E rank, so he is like the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah, he's really just a regular dude.
Yeah,
Like he doesn't have any of the special abilities.
no,
What do they call it? Oh, an awakening.
yeah,
So like I guess what the gates have only been opening for about a decade when the show starts. So I'm guessing once that started happening, that's when awakenings started happening.
I would expect
So
it. Yeah,
people started developing powers around that time.
yeah, because
Like,
I'm not sure if like what happened first, the chicken or the egg, if they
right.
started getting powers before, like right before, or maybe it was at the exact same time.
I imagine it was probably about the same
Yeah,
time.
but basically, when you are awakened, you uh, gain, magical powers specific to you, basically, and it's basically like a character build, right? Like a
Right.
specialization, like whether like you're an assassin build, like you have,
Or a
stealth
warrior.
skills or
Yeah.
warrior, or you,
Or a
yeah,
mage or a
mage or a
healer.
healer,
Yeah.
exactly. And how they get your rank is they literally test your mana.
Yeah, they test your magic
Yeah,
level, I guess
exactly.
for like your potential.
Mhm. And they just like stand on this like scale and
Yeah.
you know, and so that's how they class you, from E rank all the way up to S rank. And you know, poor Jinwoo, he was he's our main character, like I said, and when it starts, he just looks like a little kid, and they named him.
The
Sorry, our dog just ran into the camera. So, uh, they named him what? The worst
the
or the
worst
weakest?
hunter on Earth or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Like that's a pretty wild statement,
horrible.
but
Yeah,
probably true.
horrible. Yeah, it was probably true because he would just get hurt all the
Yeah,
time.
he always getting hurt, always needing to get healed. Like he's only really getting like participation money too because he's never taken down a single monster on one of these raids. None of the raiding parties he's on ever let him share in the loot. So all he gets is like whatever the contract payment is for
Yep,
being on the squad. But being an E rank, that a little bit of payment without any of the loot, it's not much,
yep.
so he's still pretty poor.
And it's what you would expect, like the higher tier dungeons, the
Yeah.
more money
Yeah,
you
of
get.
course, of course.
And but basically, these different like guilds or well, I guess the smaller groups will just be like little groups.
Yeah, like, strike teams or raiding
Yeah.
parties, yeah.
So they usually get these weaker people because you have to have like a minimum number of people to even like enter a game. I think it was like 8 people or something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe like
Well, that's for a C rank. I don't know, it
and
might be a lower amount for, like,
yeah,
D rank or E rank.
yeah. So that's why they, incorporated him, and of course, for him, he's just got to basically survive.
Yep.
Um, but they went into something called a double dungeon, right?
Yeah, double dungeon.
Yeah, which I still don't necessarily know what that means. Um,
I think was that the no, I was about to say that wasn't the one, that had one group of enemies and then another. That was the next one.
this was, obviously when he got like killed, basically, and then like reawakened.
Yeah. Maybe it had something to do with the fact that, like, it was classified as a D rank dungeon, but it was
Yeah,
clearly, like, a much stronger dungeon than that, you
yeah.
know?
So this is, I mean, obviously a pivotal point to the story. So we absolutely have to talk about it. So
Yeah.
they go into this D rank dungeon, and they think it's gonna be easy peasy, like normal low rank stuff, right?
Yep.
And then they have Jinwoo in there as just an added person,
Yep.
so they can get in. And they do have a pretty balanced, I guess, squad because they do have a healer, like an attacker, or
Yeah.
whatever it may be. Uh, but it they get into this part of the dungeon that's like just full of like statues,
Yeah.
and they seem to be, or one of them seems to be like a god, right?
Yeah,
I
some
think
kind of
you and
deity.
I like watched this part together,
Yeah.
yeah. And so basically, they had to like believe in the god and then like prove their faith to
Right.
the god, and Jinwoo basically like sacrificed himself for everybody that didn't get killed, of
Yeah.
course. So, um, so after he sacrificed himself, he woke up in the hospital and he was,
Fully healed.
yep, he lost an appendage. He lost his leg,
Yeah.
right,
And an arm.
and an arm, and
Yeah.
it was it was like nothing ever hurt him when he was in the hospital.
Yeah. And then that's when he realized he I guess what had access to something called the system or something.
Oh yeah, this
Because
is
now he
so
can
cool.
see like a computer screen,
Right.
like he's in a video game, like a pop-up, like a start menu or
Yeah.
something.
I would love that. So,
Um,
yeah, he gets like pop-up screens or like notifications, and
yeah,
then it'll have like, it's basically what, like a pause menu, you could like move back and forth from like, here are your items, here are your stats, here are your quests, so
yep,
like your main quest, side quests, daily quests. You start seeing all that, and of course nobody else can see it.
right,
So, whenever he does that, they're just looking at him like, what the hell are you doing?
yep,
Or do you need to go to the psych ward? Um, but the main difference now that he's been reawakened, not only the screens pop up, but he now like actually like levels up. So like as he's gaining experience, he's keep being better and better. Like he's
Yeah.
becoming better and better. It's almost like a Saiyan, except the Saiyans can't like manipulate their points or anything like that.
Yeah, I wonder. So, and I guess I definitely need to read the manhwa and of course finish up the season and watch season 2 now that is going. But I hope they go into whether or not like so I know he's the only one who like levels up exactly. But I mean, does that mean like everybody is a stagnant? This is the rank that you are when they get tested. Like, is it impossible to improve your ranking if you're
Yeah,
not him, basically?
that's what they've been describing.
Okay.
Because then once you're a rank, I mean, you don't unless you have a reawakening, which has like never happened before.
No, they do happen, but it's rare.
Oh, okay. Well then,
They tested him for one, and
yeah,
he actually failed the reawakening
yeah. He
test.
only had
So
two.
his is something different.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. That's true. So they still call it a reawakening, but I guess it's completely different. Because I mean, I don't even know how to describe it.
So I think what it is probably like so you know how like so in a video game like MMO you would have your classes,
Yeah,
right? So you select your class or so they get their whatever their class is with their rank, they probably develop their first little bit of skill toward whatever class and that's what they are for a bit. Then I would imagine that a reawakening is I guess in essence like an advanced class that they're adding on, like a secondary class that they get. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Later on. So like just more power or can put them in a higher ranking.
yeah. Yeah, that
Um,
would make sense. But for him, he's classless.
right. It's
So
like it doesn't even register him almost.
because again, going back to the gaming aspect of it, when he levels up, he can put his ability points to whatever he wants, say
Yep.
strength or perception or intellect, and each of them have different effects,
Yep.
right? Like intellect has more max mana,
Yep.
strength, of course, more strength, and he can manipulate those however he wants. And so, and as he goes on and he fights these different bosses, he gets different skills too, like dash and stealth
Yep.
and things like that. So he's literally classless.
Yep. It's like he can do like it's like he's one of those characters from a video game where they don't have a specific class, so technically you could in theory build your character to do everything,
Yeah, built from
Yeah.
scratch, but consistently level up. And as he levels up too, he has like different I guess it'd be like prizes or something he can choose from. So like he could do like a full recovery.
Yep.
So even if he's in mid battle, he defeats something, or even if he doesn't, if he levels up and he's like completely battered, he can just do a full recovery real quick and just be completely fine. His
Yep.
fatigue is no longer
He
there or
can
anything like
go
that.
right back to fighting if
Exactly,
there's still more to fight.
exactly. And of course, throughout this time, like after he realizes it, uh, and he starts doing his daily quest, which is like push-ups, sit-ups, run
Yep.
10K, he gets bigger and bigger and more and more fit, and he starts getting taller, and he looks like a completely different person. And what I think it's only been like what 3 months since
Yeah, max,
since that happened.
And honestly, he really does become a completely
He
different
even
person.
talks
Like he
different.
talks different.
Yeah,
His whole demeanor is changed. Like it is kind of like I don't know. It is kind of interesting seeing that shift in his character. Like the more powerful he gets, it almost seems like the less like
less he
human
feels.
he
Yeah,
is.
it's almost like Don to Don with uh Okarun.
Oh yeah,
When he changes, he's just
yeah.
completely like, "Ugh,
Just so aloof.
what a
Yeah,
drag." Yeah. But I mean, this dude, even in the worst possible situations now, he's just like, "Oh, so I need to do this.
yeah,
I need to do that," like with his inner monologue, and it's completely different. So, and then he even explains it. I don't know if you've gotten this far yet, but he does explain it to where I forgot who warned him, or somebody warned him, or he learned this from somewhere that like the more power you get, like the less you feel like yourself. Like every
Okay.
time you level up, it's like you lose a piece of yourself.
Okay.
But I obviously we still don't know why that is.
Right.
Um, but it's definitely an interesting show, man.
So I definitely think it's got something to do with that statue from that first or second episode for sure.
Yeah.
I think because he saw like he figured out how to survive
Mhm.
and he's the one who got, sacrificed. I think if that was the statue of a god or if it's like linked to a god's power, I think like because he did all that, figured it out and sacrificed himself, that's probably why he has that power now.
Yeah. And he's the only one that I guess in that instance like proved his faith
Yeah.
to the god.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of reason for why he was chosen for that because it doesn't see because the system or whatever it is refers to him as like the player.
Yeah.
So like there and he's even mentioned it in his little inner monologue a couple times that the system is doing everything it can to keep him alive, like by giving him all these like instant revives and potions and this and that. He's got a store that he in his little pop-up menu where
Keep talking.
you're good, where uh he can keep buying health potions and other things like mid battle to help him out if he didn't have it before. Nobody else can
Or
do
yeah,
that.
water
Yeah.
to I guess like take down his fatigue because
Yeah.
if his fatigue goes up too much, he can't recover. I mean, dude, I just gotta hurt my thumb. Oh God,
You care, bro?
I'm old. Okay, but no, I mean this show is just so crazy. I love like the aspect of it.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Like that, this has got to be my favorite show so far, even
Okay.
more than Kaiju number 8.
Okay.
Just because of like the aspect of it I've never seen before. Of course, I'm not like a uh I don't have as much experience with anime as you, but
Yeah.
and so maybe there's more out there like this. But I obviously I haven't seen it, but this is like the coolest thing ever in my opinion.
Yeah, there are other like video game anime out there, but like they're not I don't know, like most of them I don't think are as good.
Yeah.
Like s- I don't know, the worst one and the first one that comes to mind is like Sword Art Online and that's just not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this is a good show. I'm really liking it a lot so far. Um
Oh, and one other thing,
yep.
and that this is obviously pretty important. The whole reason why Jinwoo wanted to become a hunter uh, is because his mom is in the hospital, him and
Right.
his sister's mom, and he's a guardian of his sister now too. Uh, obviously, she lives with him. He's out. She's still in high school, so she can't really like make money
Yeah.
for them. So he has to figure out some way to make money. And since he does have a little bit of magical power, at least from the beginning, what else is he gonna do to make some quick money? So I mean that's like the main, or that was like the main factor of him even doing this like this massively dangerous job.
Because in theory, he could make a lot of money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And of course now he can. But he does have to, or he want. I guess he doesn't really have to, but he wants to hide it
Yeah.
because like we said before, this doesn't happen very often at all.
No, I think I think probably just doesn't happen.
Yeah. With him. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is so much different from what a reawakening seems to be.
But anyway, sorry guys, my wife called. She's on a she was on a break from work. Um so obviously, what do you think overall of this show so far? I mean, this is like we said, I mean this is different from all the shows that we've talked about
Yeah.
before.
No, it's definitely got like something about it. Like I like how um like we said, I like the video game genre thing, but I like how they try to keep it more like as grounded in reality as possible. So like it's real life.
And it's very
It's real
story
life.
too.
It's exactly. And the supporting characters aren't too bad either. Like I like that Jin-Ho character, the little rich boy.
Oh yeah, I didn't even
I
talk
do,
about him. Yeah,
yeah, I do like him. The one that's been kind of like putting up the money for their whole
yeah,
operation.
yeah. So explain the operation a little bit, because that is pretty cool.
So they've got a deal worked out where this they met on a raid where it was Jinho, this billionaire's son.
Yeah, from the
It was,
construction
yeah,
company
from
with his
this
dad.
Eugene Construction, huge company in the show. And basically the company has a plan to expand into the like hunter guild business, because the resources gained from mining these like dungeons are super invaluable to the world, like to the human
Right,
world these days. So they figure instead of buying them off of guilds and buying them off of raiding parties,
right.
they can kind of start to try to monopolize that, at least that small at certain areas, by
Yeah,
having their own hunters guild to mine the resources for
because
them
see the
directly.
because I know what Jino's dad. I keep forget. I don't remember his name.
I don't remember his dad's name.
But he when they were talking in the car, it was like just this random scene. I guess it was
Right.
somewhat of like a
Yeah,
backstory
I
for
remember that.
before he even started all this. Is like the S rank guilds, like the biggest guilds, like the was
Like
it
the
like the
White
White Tiger
Tigers.
and all
Yeah.
them. They have already like monopolized this whole
The main,
resource
yeah,
game for that, like the S ranked, like
because the association controls who gets
yeah.
access to what gates,
Yeah.
but the guilds kind of control the association for the most
Exactly.
part.
Yeah, especially the S rank, because I
Yeah.
mean they're so powerful at this point. They're like Fortune 500 companies,
Yeah.
and so obviously Jino's dad and had wanted a piece of that for his company. I mean,
Yeah.
instead of being like I guess it'd be kind of like a middleman, right? Because if somebody else is gaining the resources and you're buying for them, obviously the prices are going to be a lot higher if you buy from them than if you get them yourself.
Right.
So, but I think that what is missing, and I could be like completely making this up, I don't know, but it would make sense. What is missing is these lower tiered rank or lower tiered dungeons. They still have all these resources, right? Maybe not as much as S rank, but they're not monopolized already, right?
So you're kind of right, but like basically what the reason why they're doing these C rank dungeons is because they can do 20 of them easily, because Jinwoo, he is pretty he's gotten a lot more powerful, but even he said he probably only falls somewhere around like B to A rank right now.
Right,
So they couldn't go around doing 20 B rank dungeons nearly as
right.
easily. It would be very difficult.
And Jinho stated that it would be like phenomenal to do 19 or 20 of these dungeons with zero fatalities.
Right, which is why they're rating them by themselves. So the six other people they had to hire to hit that
Yeah.
person raid requirement, they're just sitting outside the gate having a picnic
Yeah,
half the
like
time.
playing games and
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
But
But they still get paid, which,
yeah,
who wouldn't want to do that?
3 million for every dungeon they
Yeah,
do. That's
exactly.
nice.
Yeah, quite nice.
But yeah, so Jinho, he is going to be the founder of their company's guild,
Mhm.
but to be a guild master, or to found a guild at least, you have to have at least 20 dungeons of raid experience. And he had only done the one before they struck this
Right.
deal, so now they got to do 19 more. Once they do that, they can officially found their guild, and their father can hire like the best hunters that they can afford
And that
and
they've
make it
already
a
been,
legitimate
yeah,
guild. And they've been headhunting hunters
exactly,
already.
exactly.
So they're just waiting to hit that number, and once they do, then they're going to hire really good hunters to join them. And they're sorry, and then they're planning on hiring an S rank hunter,
Right,
so they can be an S rank guild too and be part of that chain that's like monopolizing these dungeons.
exactly. And it's like they are also paying like double or triple for these gates.
to make sure that they can do this
Exactly. And
quickly, get it over with, and get this
yeah,
on the road.
because Jin-Woo gets found out basically by this guy that works for
The White
the White
Tigers.
Tigers, and that he also seems like somewhat of a journalist too.
Yeah.
It seemed like it because he's like, this is a huge story and stuff like that when he figured out.
No, I think what he means is like that he could be a really huge asset. Like,
Okay,
I think that's what he was kind of getting at.
yeah,
Is like this could be really huge for us. Like this dude is gonna do great things.
yeah,
Like
because they
we want
basically,
him
yeah,
working with us.
because him and this one other guy, they like spy on them,
Yeah.
and they're like tailing them from gate to gate, and they see all these guys on and girls on a picnic. Like, okay, well, where are the people actually fighting in the dungeon?
Oh, that's us.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're the
yeah.
squad.
And so at first, I think they thought it was Jin Ho because of maybe his,
Because he's a higher rank
yeah,
and he can afford much better
right,
gear, like
yeah,
the
the gear that
legendary
he
gear. Yeah,
uses
even though he's
just
low
looks
level.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but then this guy figures out it's Jin Woo, so he has a sit down with him and actually offers him to like come fight with the White Tigers or come raid with the White Tigers.
Yeah, they said they'll double whatever offer Eugene Construction is paying him.
Yeah, and what amount did he say? I forgot.
So he said he asked how much the entire White Tiger HQ was appraised for,
Mm,
and he said about 50 to 60 million. And so he said, okay, so that will be my price then. I'll take over the White Tiger
yeah,
HQ
yeah,
if I do this because that was my deal with them is I'm gonna lead their HQ.
right. And
Yeah.
he gets paid so much. Like the construction company is just putting so much money into this because obviously it can become something incredible.
Yeah, if they succeed and get this off the ground, it's gonna be it's gonna pay them back so much more because not only are they gonna save so much on buying resources because they won't have to do that at all. They'll just get it straight from the dungeons every time for everything they're
Yeah,
making. On top of that, they can sell excess resources
mm,
to other companies for a profit,
yeah,
pure profit. Every dollar they make is going to be, yeah.
exactly.
So that's going to be huge for
And
them.
they don't even only Jinho knows in the company of what Jinwoo is.
Yeah.
And so they don't even know that they're already throwing a shit ton of money into it.
Yeah.
So if they figured it out that Jinwoo could someday be the best hunter in the world,
I imagine his father might like his father would have to know something about Jinwoo, right? Because like if he's agreed to this deal of letting him like own the HQ building or like lead the HQ or something like that, like he's got to have a lot of faith in this E rank, right?
I mean, that's true. I mean, maybe he's done his own research. I don't know. Or maybe he's just like, well, there's no way that my son can a C rank or like a noob C
Or
rank can
maybe
just
he's
clear out
just
these
like
dungeons.
yeah, maybe he's just like seeing the results and he's like,
Yeah,
I mean, as long as y'all keep doing this,
yeah,
then I trust you. You
yeah.
know, maybe that's I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, maybe we'll find out, but um, either way, I mean, it's crazy. So basically, Jinwoo is just doing whatever he wants at this point because he's Jinho, even though Jinho is like the one bringing the money to the table.
Yeah.
He calls Jinwoo the boss because Jinwoo is so much more
I mean,
powerful.
he's without him, this whole operation's done.
Yeah,
He has to hire Jinho would have to hire a real raiding party and actually do these
yeah,
raids.
exactly. Without the power of Jinwoo,
Yeah.
uh, and also you hear this inner monologues, which Jinwoo's inner monologues are actually very interesting. You get to learn a lot from it.
Yeah.
And have you already seen the episode where that B rank association guy comes in with three inmates to do this raid,
Oh yeah.
and then he, of course, turns out to be
He's
a shitty guy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Serial
he's a
killer.
serial killer. Yeah, because he's been like killing these guys for a while now because he enjoys killing,
Yep.
even though he took like 3 billion to kill these three inmates for justice. But he's B rank, right? And him and Jinwoo end up fighting in the dungeon because Jinwoo's not going to let him kill his friends.
Yeah.
And you know, he beats him. I mean, it's kind of a tough battle, but not
It was,
really.
I mean, like, it was,
That's how he gets the stealth skill as
yeah.
well, because he
I
was an assassin build.
I think that I think that that was probably the toughest fight he had had so far, other than since the giant snake that he fought when he
Yeah,
the
like the
very
very
first
first big
boss that he
boss. Yeah.
fought, and other than that giant Cerberus dog
Oh,
thing
yeah,
at the demon castle, which he hasn't gone into yet
yeah,
because he knew it was too strong.
yeah.
Because he only
That was an
barely
S.
survived.
I thought so. The Cerberus I thought was like an A rank uh monster, and
It
then
might be. It
and
might
what's in the
because
castle
with
is an S rank, and that's
yeah,
why.
it could be because he only
Yeah,
barely defeated that, and that was like I don't know, that was more from like I think just out thinking it,
yeah,
just like
his
being
intellect.
strategic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but where the inner monologue where I was getting at was after that, the association guy's partner. In his inner monologue, Jinwoo's, he's thinking, you know, this guy is A rank. Like, there's no way I could touch him. And it's like, well, holy shit, this just shows like the vast amount of difference from rank to rank in
Yeah.
power. Because, I
And
mean,
he's that confident that he
yeah,
couldn't fight this guy.
because, I mean, he did beat the B rank guy relatively easy compared to some
Yeah,
of the things he's fought.
you didn't really think that Jinwoo was about to lose at any point.
Right. But if he thinks that an A rank is still like untouchable,
Yeah,
then God, I can't even imagine like an S rank.
right.
Like, that that to me, that's still, like, mind-boggling to me to think about. Because Jin Woo, when you look at him fight, it's already like, this dude is just, like, so badass, like, how can anything be unless they're, like, really big, you know, like a giant monster, how can anything be so much more powerful than him? But these guys that are in these upper tiers are just still, like, untouchable.
Yep.
So,
Um
that's pretty crazy to think
like
about.
that one guy who's after him in Jinho right now.
It was,
What's his
the
name?
dude's brother.
Yeah,
I forgot.
Wong something. Oh,
Yeah, so what Chance, while he looks that up, what he's
yeah,
talking
let me
about
look this.
is they do a this was Jin Ho's first raid, and of course Jinwoo being a registered E rank, these guys, this group comes in and is like, hey, why don't you join us for this raid? We'll give you an equal split of the money. We just need enough people to get through the gate. And this group of people turn out to be uh I guess, I mean, you can call them murderers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So once they get to like this, the boss, which is like a giant spider, they completely leave Jinho and Jinwoo in this like spider's nest and like trap them in there so that the spider can like eat a full meal and like go back to sleep
Yep.
so they can like get all the resources, the mana crystals. But of course, Jinwoo wasn't gonna let that happen. That's how Jinho figured out how Jinwoo was. So he, you know, defeats the giant spider, and then the guys come back, and he has to basically murder these murderers,
Yep.
actually, or else they're gonna die. And the main guy of this shitty group,
Hwang Dong-suk.
is that the guy or the brother?
That's the guy that you're talking about
Yeah,
right now.
he was the main, like the I guess the leader of this group, and so he was killed by Jinwoo, and so now his brother, which is extremely powerful,
And his name is Hwang Dong-soo.
Wang Dong-soo. He's like is he the like guild master, or I know he's very
So
powerful.
he's an S rank hunter.
That's right.
His brother's an S rank hunter, I think probably who leads his own guild. The guy from this dungeon that you're talking about now, Huang Dong Suk, he is a C rank
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
who has a like with his ability, I guess he has a constitution of like a very, very, very low B rank,
Yeah,
maybe.
because he
But
basically like tried to power up. He had,
yeah,
but I mean, it was no match for Jin Woo, really.
yeah,
He just like flung his face to the to the
yeah,
ground.
that was pretty brutal.
but but yeah, so this really powerful guy is now after them. I mean, of course, I don't think we've seen it yet as far as like
No,
anybody
he's
from
like
the
he's got other things he has to do right now. He said, but like it's gonna be a slow burn, but
yeah.
he is going to come back for them.
But this A rank association guy that we talked about previously, he's the one that kind of brought it up to Jinwoo.
Yeah,
And that's how
told him
Jinwoo
about it.
figured out like, oh shit, like what am I supposed to do about this? Like,
Now, I'll say at the rate that Jinwoo grows in power and like at the rate that he levels up, this Dong-Su guy is probably making a big mistake by not coming and getting him now
yo,
while
that's
he
true.
definitely could,
That's true, but he
because
doesn't know.
he would win it so
Yeah,
easily right now.
yeah,
But like if he doesn't show up till next season, I don't know. I mean, at the rate that he's growing,
exactly.
he might be S rank by next season.
But the S rank, the A rank and S rank power might be so vast that at that point it might be harder and harder to level up. It's just like a regular game, right?
That's true.
Like from
Or like the level ups do less.
yeah,
Like yeah.
so from like level 0 to 30, it goes by pretty quickly, but from like 30 to 100, it's slower and slower because you got to keep defeating more and more, even like more powerful, monsters, bosses, whatever it
Yeah.
may be. And it's a lot slower of a progression. And that's kind of what I'm hoping to.
So I think you're right because he did in the episode or that I last watched, number 10, or maybe it was number 9. I watched this morning. But he was basically like he was leveling up and he's like, okay, because it looked now all of his stats are like in the like 30s to 50s now, except for maybe like his intellect, which he's focusing more on now for his mana.
Yeah.
But he said basically,
Oh, Reese.
hey Reese.
Sorry, my dog loves Chance. Hey.
He basically said that at this point, the 3 ability points that he gets when he levels up, like, don't go as far as they used to.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make as much of a difference as it used to.
Hmm.
And that makes sense.
Yeah. Just
When
like a regular game.
when you're going from like 10 to 30, yeah, that's a 3 times difference.
Yeah.
But when you're going from 30 to 33, yeah.
Might take the same amount of time. Reese, you are ridiculous. But and I'm kind of hoping that it would be that way because if he becomes S rank
Too
by the
quickly.
end of the season, just
Yeah.
as an example, then I mean, well, at that point, what's the point of having more seasons?
Yeah, or
If
or
there's
are we gonna
nothing,
find out that after that there's a super S
or
rank?
there's like
Like,
secret tiers.
yeah,
Yeah, but no, I mean, at that point, it's like why have other seasons if those are the only tiers? And so yeah, I mean, I'm glad it's getting like that, and so I feel like it's probably gonna take him a good while of like constantly fighting to
yeah,
become even close to an S rank.
yeah. And I think also like whatever is about to happen, I assume it's gonna be next season, when they go back to Jeju Island. Do you remember that from the very
Yes.
beginning, like
So
episode
so
1?
actually episode 12,
Okay,
they so maybe in even the next episode, like the last episode of the season,
yeah,
they'll be on it
okay.
because they found they got approval to go.
Is obviously I'm assuming yes, but obviously is Jinwoo's raiding party going to Jeju Island?
No,
No.
no.
Okay, just the S
I don't
tiers.
even think he's talked about it. Like I don't even think Jinwoo knows about what's happening.
You're probably right.
Because he hasn't talked about it at all. But this guild master and all these S ranks are all going because apparently most of them have like some experience there and like had some tragic events happen on Jeju Island.
You remember the opening scene of the show? Although that raiding party that was fighting all those demons and got like overwhelmed and
Yeah.
everything. That was like the main S rank people that the guild masters we've been seeing.
Okay.
That was them when they were younger.
Okay.
About like years younger. Yeah.
So yeah, so they got massively overwhelmed. A lot
Yeah.
of people died. A
Yeah.
lot of their friends died. And then basically the association just stated like, hey, like no one goes to this island because it's completely overrun by monsters. There's a dungeon break and it's just completely overrun.
For reference, like, could you imagine, genuinely, could you imagine if New York City had a big like dungeon break, and it just overran the whole island and it was just evacuated. And now
Yeah, and
all of
basically like quarantine.
yeah, and now all of Manhattan is just a quarantined like monster dungeon,
Right.
essentially.
Exactly. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that would be intense. And the fact is like it seemed like people tried to forget about it, but then this forgot his name, this guildmaster, kind of kept it in the press, kind of kept it alive, just the name what was it?
Jeju Island.
Jeju Island. And so yeah, they finally got the approval to go. And so right now where I left off on episode 12 is they are in a helicopter. This guildmaster and all the S ranked hunters that joined, um, they're in a helicopter almost to Jeju Island.
Okay.
So I'm expecting them to at least arrive
In episode 13.
next episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
If they don't, then then it's gotta be the very beginning of the next season.
Yeah.
So, but I'm excited to see
Like
what's gonna
what it
happen
looks
there,
like now.
and
Yeah.
to watch these S ranked hunters like in action,
Yeah, that'll be cool.
right?
Because
Because
it's cool seeing Jinwoo do his thing and be like a badass in these
yeah,
lower level dungeons, but I want to see some high tier characters fighting some high
yeah.
tier monsters,
Like if we still have yet, like we still need to see like what true power
Yeah.
looks like in this universe.
Because if he's that confident, like you said, that an A rank hunter is that much above him, then I want to see, yeah, what does an S rank hunter look like in battle, or a whole raiding party full of them, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's been fun to watch so far. I mean, let me know what you think, guys. I mean, like Chance said, we're kind of late to the show, or late to the party, whatever you want to say. But I mean, we're catching up pretty quickly. But it's pretty incredible, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
I
I'm
fucking
enjoying it a
love
lot. Yeah.
it. I love it.
When we come back for our next episode, we'll talk about the ending of season 1, and then by that point, we'll probably be significantly into season 2.
Yeah,
So we'll talk more about that.
yeah. And I know we said we would talk about more, Invincible.
But we just ran a little short on time today,
We're
but
yeah, we're a little bit of a
next time we can talk about both.
yeah. We will talk about both for sure because there's going to be a lot more of Invincible, like critical things that have happened by
Yeah.
that time that we need to talk about. But but no, it's been
Oh, it's
fun.
over.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen the last.
Oh, you haven't seen the finale yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
Oh, okay, okay. I was gonna
So
say it ended last week.
no, because I've been so focused on
No, you're good. You're good.
solo leveling.
Oh, you definitely need to watch that. It's so good.
Yeah, I will. But yeah, we'll talk about that next time,
Yep.
and we appreciate you guys. Please follow us, like and subscribe. I mean, we're not stopping this anytime soon. So,
Yep.
follow us through our journey. I mean, this is where we're starting basically.
Yep. Think about where we might end up.
Exactly. And so our day oneers are going to be, true to our hearts.
Oh yeah.
So follow us through our journey. We appreciate you.
Yes, we do. Thank you guys.